Hey guys, Dave with RLB Motorsports. Today I am super pumped to bring to you guys this brand new product that we spent the last year and a half designing to enhance the drivability of all these really cool UTVs we have today. What that consists of is our full racing steering wheel, our lightweight hub, and our Adapt IQ that'll work with all these steering wheels, and we have multiple different ones to talk about. What I'm going to do is get into this with you. I'm going to explain to you why we designed this. This is not just another steering wheel. This is not just another hub on the market. We designed it specifically for these cars that come with, and I'll show you, these really small steering wheels. Here's your Polaris Pro R steering wheel. Comes with a 13-inch steering wheel. This is a 14-inch steering wheel. Here is your Kawasaki H2, like the car behind us. Again, 13-inch steering wheel. And then your Can-Am Mav R steering wheel. You can see how much smaller they are than these 14-inch steering wheels. So right now we're going to get into a full video, explain to you guys exactly how we designed all this, why we designed all this, and how it's going to be awesome on your car. Real quickly, I want to go over the reason we came up with this enhanced driving system. All of these cars, the Kawasaki H2, the Polaris Pro Rs, the Mav Rs, even the Polaris Pro S, they all come with 13-inch steering wheels. What do you see 13-inch steering wheels on? Go-karts. Anything that's really fine movement, tight tracks where, you want to make the finest movement with your steering wheel. Well, in off-roading, we're moving all over the place. We're correcting the car left and right, cars all over the place. You want better control. Bigger steering wheel, more leverage. Smaller steering wheel, twitchy leverage. So that's the whole reason we came out with the 14-inch steering wheel. One of the challenges we had after we designed our 14-inch steering wheel is, okay, if we're going to get rid of these small 13-inch steering wheels off these cars, every single one of them came with some sort of buttons that went into the steering wheel that, it works for suspension, stereo, all kinds of navigation, all type of things. So we didn't want to get rid of that stuff. So that in turn made us come out with our Adapt IQ system. So that's the whole system that's going to hold these buttons with our larger 14-inch steering wheel. And then after that, of course, you got to mount it to the car. The way to mount the car is a hub. So we designed a really nice hub that's lightweight and all drilled out. We'll get into more details about all these products. So again, this is the whole reason we came up with this driving system. Another very important fun fact you should know that any off-road race car driver in a UTV, you're not going to see a 13-inch steering wheel in their cars. Look at all the professional Polaris Pro R racers, the Maverick guys. They are not running 13-inch steering wheels. They will always have a 14-inch steering wheel in their car. When we set out to design this enhanced driving system, one of the key features of this whole system is the steering wheel. So we thought, all right, we want to come out with a 14-inch steering wheel to get better control of the car, but we also want to design a few features into it that made it a little bit different than maybe some of the other offerings out there. So some of those features are on the back side. We built in a finger hold. So it actually, when you wrap your hand around, you can slide your fingers right into this nice little hole. It gives you a good feel for control on the steering wheel. Secondly, on the front side, we built in these indentation thumb holes. What that does, it allows you to have comfort for when you're holding the steering wheel. You put your thumbs right in those slots with your fingers wrapped around the back. It gives you a really comfortable feel, and it keeps your thumbs out of the center of the wheel, because when you put your thumb in there and you jerk something really hard, you can break your thumb. It has happened. So we kind of thought we'd put that there for hopefully helping people to keep their thumbs out of the steering wheel. So that was just another feature we built into it. Of course, we used a high quality suede on here. Right now, we're offering them in two different colors. You've got the black on red, so you've got the red centering lug with the red stitch, and then we've got our black with the black centering lug and the black stitch. One of the biggest challenges we had in doing this entire system is, how do we get the buttons out of a factory steering wheel, which would be something like this as a 3D version, and a Kawasaki H2 here. How do we get this button to work with our 14-inch steering wheel? So what we had to do there is come up with what's called our Adapt IQ. We made 3 different button pods, one for the Can-Am, one for the Kawasaki H2, and one for the Polaris, to hold their various buttons and shapes inside a system that can bolt in between the steering wheel and the hub. These systems are very unique, so when designing these, we had to make them work with one steering wheel, so we couldn't change the size of the steering wheel, so we had to change the Adapt IQ for each button pod that it went into. And what these are a full clam, a clamshell. So when you open them up, there are certain structures inside both of these to properly hold the buttons securely so they will not move, as well as the wiring that runs in between the 2 buttons. Close it all up into a clamshell and make it so that when you screw it all together, you don't see anything except for the 1 wire coming out of the bottom, just like your factory steering wheel, going to your factory location within your car. We designed this with a nice carbon fiber look on both the front and the back, so when it's on your car, it looks really good. As well as we provide all the hardware and mounting solutions you need to mount this in between your steering wheel and the hub. But as you can also see, we added 2 push-to-talk button ears on all of our mounts. This allows you to run a push-to-talk and say a horn, whatever you need a button for. You got 2 of them here for your push-to-talk or buttons that you don't have to Velcro onto your steering wheels. With each one of these Adapt IQs, the Polaris, the Kawasaki H2, and also the Can-Am, we had to build in very specific designs and features to work for each one of those applications. One of which I'll show you here on this is the Can-Am, the backside of the Can-Am. If you see these 2 little slots, they're on both sides. What they are a groove that allows you to slide a zip tie in there, because when you put a push-to-talk button in each one of these buttons, the button's facing me, the wire sticking out the back, the wire comes down, you zip tie those wires right to the back of this, because with the Can-Am, when you're driving that car, you do have paddle shifters, unlike these other cars. Well, the paddle shifters get in the way of the push-to-talk wires that come down. So we thought of everything, you know, you got zip tie slots in there to hold that wire real tight to the back of this so it doesn't get in the way of your paddle shifters. And last but not least, in this enhanced driving system, you got to be able to mount all of this to your car. Each car has different steering splines that stick out, and you need a hub that connects to that. So we have designed this really lightweight aluminum hub, full aluminum construction, designed for the different make and models of UTVs out there. As you can see, we drilled it. We put some, you know, let's call it fancy look into these to just keep them looking sharp, being lightweight, because there's not a lot of bulk to them. They're not really bulky like a lot of hubs on the market, which are just a big hunk of metal. We tried to keep this as slim and as light as possible to hold these steering wheels. Remember, all these steering wheels and these hubs have the universal 6 screw pattern that you'll find on any 6 screw steering wheel or a hub on the market. So all of that is universal, and again, it's got a nice powder coat finish and will last you a long time. It's not anodized, which is going to turn colors over time. This is a really nice kind of semi-gloss black textured powder coat. One last point I wanted to point out to you guys with all of these factory 13-inch steering wheels, you notice they've got some kind of flat spot on the top, the bottom, whatever. They put all these flat spots in them. I know you think, oh, well, I'm a tall guy, I'm not going to fit in the car if I go to a bigger steering wheel and don't have that flat spot. That is absolutely false. I am 6'2". I fit in every one of these cars. They drive amazing with the 14-inch steering wheel. You do not need a flat spot to fit in a wheel. All these steering wheels also have adjustable steering columns, so you can move the steering wheel out of the way as you get in, and then you can put it back down into your driving position. So don't be fooled by these flat spots and think that you need them to be able to drive your vehicle. One more important fact that I want to point out is that with our 14-inch steering wheels, you do not need to run the Adapt IQ if you so choose not to. These steering wheels will work on any car without buttons. So any one of the many cars out there that don't have buttons in the steering wheel, you can run our steering wheel and our hub with no buttons. Or even if you have one of the cars with buttons and you don't care to have buttons on your steering wheel, Just run it without the Adapt IQ. So it is just like any other steering wheel that you add to your car aftermarket on the market. Again, today, I hope you learned a lot about the 14-inch steering wheel, why we go from a 13-inch steering wheel. I promise you, you get rid of that 13-inch steering wheel in your car and you go to one of our 14-inch steering wheels, it's a night and day difference in the performance and handling of the car. You will feel much more connected to your vehicle. You can find all of this product on our website at rlbmotorsports.com. You can also find it on Amazon, as well as any one of our authorized dealers can help you. As always, thanks for watching.